Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about something. I'm getting so many responses and actual voice messages from you guys from the Can Thrift Stores Do Better podcast that I did about just the way that thrift stores package things. And you guys can leave me a voice message. You can see it. You should be able to see it wherever you get the podcast, but you can always email me too. But I'm loving the responses from it because I just feel like you understand, right? Like you totally get it. And I just think there's a better way. And one of the responses was the thrift stores using that like shrink wrap. It's almost like a plastic wrap, but I actually use it when I'm shipping out items from my Instagram shop page. And I just think that's a fantastic idea. We're going to slow down here a minute because you can see everything that's in it and nothing's damaged. Like it's not tape. There's no sticky. It's just like keeps everything together. So I think that's actually a really, really, really great idea. And it's not that expensive. You can even get it at the dollar store. And I would think that Goodwills and thrift stores should be able to get it fairly cheap. But anyway, so I love your feedback. Please keep it coming. I love your reactions to the podcast, your questions, your ideas. Keep them coming. They truly make my day. But today I'm going to talk about something that it actually happened last night. So it's still fresh in my mind. And I just, here it is. So since 2020, thrifting and yard sales here where we live in Iowa, it's just been different. I'm sure across the board, it's just been different. Even me going to Target anymore, it's just different. It's not the same. And I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. And the shelves aren't always full. And it's just, everything is different in that whole realm. And so anyway, so as I'm recording this, the holidays are over. And the thrift stores have kind of had that, overflowing still holiday stuff, on their shelves. And I just kind of wasn't going, after the holidays. I love, I do a big purge I purge all the closets, all the drawers, all the, the kitchen, everything in the house, because I just like, once we put the Christmas stuff away, I just like the simplicity, and I just like to get rid of clutter. And sometimes with the Christmas decorations, it's like, it's just a lot. And then once I put it away, it's like, I feel like I can breathe a little bit better. And I actually pulled out every single tote from Christmas. And I've shared this before, I really was honest. If it has not come out in 2 years, or sometimes I keep project things because I'm creating videos and things. So I keep different project things, but if I haven't done it, I'm not going to do it. So I got rid of 6 boxes of stuff, just on that first day when I was putting away Christmas. So it just feels so good. But anyway, so I wasn't really going thrifting during this time. I'm just kind of, deep cleaning the house, organizing. And so I actually went to a thrift store last night. I only went to one. I had to get back home for something, so I couldn't be gone long. And so I went in there, and I have heard from everybody that thrift stores, the pricing is just getting outrageous. And yes, there are a lot of things at our stores that it's just the price is going up. And like between Salvation Army for us has always been the highest, which is, I think that's different for some people. The Goodwills didn't seem as high, but I went to a Goodwill last night, and they've gotten rid of all of the Christmas stuff. There was like one little shelf left. And so they were kind of putting out, they were putting together new shelves and then, bringing out just, other random stuff that wasn't holiday stuff. And so I was actually excited to go in there because I felt like it was new stuff. And I just, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I hadn't been in such a long time. So sometimes it's just like, oh, this is going to be so fun. I'm going to find a lot of things. And I found some things and I could not believe the prices. I was like, everything I picked up. Here's the thing. Like, I feel at our Goodwills, I'll say the base price for things back in the day used to be like $1.88, $2.88. And then things got up to be $3.88, and it was like, okay. And so now I've been okay with the whole $3.88. Like that's the baseline for, some smaller things. But you guys, I went in there last night and we are up to the number one price tag. And I know this may sound, it was $5.88 and $7.88. So those two, I was like, wow, I don't even see these ever. And now it was like everything I picked up, from small items to a little bit bigger items. There were a pair of these, they're like candle holders, and they're glass. If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, yes, I see those all the time. They're glass up on the top, and then there's like a wood base on them. Well, I wanted to take them apart. I didn't want to use them as they were, but I had a great idea to use the base for a project. And so I was like super excited because they had a set of them. One was bigger and then another one was kind of smaller. And so the bigger one was priced like at $15.88. And I looked on the price, I flipped it over because I couldn't find the price. And so the original store price was there. And I think the store price was 19 something. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then the other one, the smaller one, was like $11.88 or something. So, that didn't have the price tag. So I don't know if they came in a box together, or like they were just together, or they were separate, whatever. But I'm thinking, if the bigger one was 19, this one, it's $11.88 here. It had to be 15 at least. I'll just, and I'm taking them apart, right? And so I'm just like, when the prices are pretty much, when I flip them over, and this has happened a few times now, I flip over and the original price from the store, whatever, is less than what it is at the thrift store. And the thrift stores around here, they're notorious for the Target dollar bin area, the $5 bin, which is basically what it is now. But they will put the prices higher for what it was in the dollar bin. So if it's a $3 item at Target, it'll be $4 something in the thrift stores. But I'm just like, well, for me to come home and take these apart and it's not worth it then at that point, right? Like, this defeats the purpose. And there were a couple other items. Like, first of all, I wasn't really finding things in the thrift stores right before the holidays kind of started. And so I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just over it. I just need a break. I am not really finding anything. And so I went last night and I was finding things. But then the prices were like, there is no way. Like, I'm not. So anyway, I would love to hear from you. What is your now base price to go into the thrift store? And here's another thing that's, I think, different with every thrift store, and I think it depends on where you are and what state you live in, because we've gone thrifting and gone to different shops in other states and stuff. But like at our Salvation Army, they have sales every week. I think it's every week. Yes, it lasts for a week, and they'll have a certain color. Like, green tags are 50% off, and that's anything in the store. So if that's clothes, shoes, I don't even know if shoes are marked. I don't even know how shoes are marked, but clothes, blankets, housewares, whatever. The only thing it doesn't work on is the furniture, of course. But anything in the store that's got a green tag then would be half off. Well, at our Goodwills, they'll have a color. I think, again, it's weekly. But it's only on clothes. So like, if it's green tags are half off, it's only on clothes. So it's not like you can go through the store, and where I'm usually spending time in the store, and find, the green tags in the, the homewares or whatever you want to call it, the decorative stuff, to get it half off, because they don't do that like that here in our Goodwills. I would like to know how they do sales at your thrift stores, and maybe your thrift stores don't have sales. Here's the thing. Excuse me. I just don't understand. Like, I've heard, people will say, well, resellers are coming in, and I don't know. I guess here's my thing. Don't you want to move the stuff that's on the floor? And I just, when your prices are over what, the stores are even charging, I think it's just defeating the purpose, really. I don't know. I don't know. I could go on and on about this. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I guess I just want to understand it. And I know that they've got bills and everything, the cost of employees and everything is gone up, and, like all of that. I understand that there's a balance that you have to do, but I could not believe it last night. It was the first time, like I said, we were going up by like $1, and I feel like we were staying there. And I was hearing from a lot of people on Instagram and stuff that, their thrift, the prices are just getting so outrageous, so they don't even go. And so, I just didn't feel, what do I want to say? I knew we were going up, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, I'm not going to go anymore, right? Like, I'm just not going to shop. But last night was the first time that I was like, what in the world? Matt was with me. It was the first time when I was like, these prices are like, just horrible. They're just way too high. And so when I was telling him my idea with those, I'm calling them candle things because whatever. But he's like, yeah, because I was trying to tell him what my idea was. And he's like, that's great. But now, you're already in it over 20 some dollars. And, I could, go and buy the piece that I wanted from those a lot cheaper than that, and then have to, make them over to look like they were and all of that. But, and maybe that's what I'm going to have to start doing. Like, instead of going to I love to browse stores online, or like go into Targets and your Home Goods and TJ Maxx and Pottery Barn and all those stores. Like, I love to go through them just because I get so many ideas inside them, that I can, I walk in and I'm like, oh my goodness, I know I can make that. Or I know Matt can help me get this, make this look just like this, or, for a lot less. But now it's like, I'm going to go to the thrift stores to get inspiration so that I can go, I guess, and find the items for a lot less or something. But anyway, I just had to get on today, and just because it just happened last night, and it was, like I said, the first time I was like, oh my goodness. So we'll see. That was one store. Like I said, I went into one store. It was a Goodwill. The Salvation Army, I don't feel like I said, it's always been higher. It's rare that I find a ton of things at the Salvation Army here just because of the pricing. But I feel like they have the best furniture out of all of the thrift stores here near us. But their prices are usually so high and they don't really mark them down. Sometimes it's like, it depends on who you ask. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's been sitting on the floor for 4 weeks, so now we go down to 50%, and then other people are like, oh no, we never do that. So it's just like, okay, can I just find the person that says, yeah, we actually want to get rid of this stuff to make room for new stuff. We have one kind of like charity shop. It's not really a thrift store. It's more like a charity shop. And their back room from floor to ceiling is stuffed with stuff. And I am just like, oh my goodness. And they have a fairly good sized store, but I'm just thinking, why are you like, get this stuff out, get this stuff moving, and everybody in there is a volunteer. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know. It would, and I know there's, like I said, I know there's a system, and I know there's a way to do things that that works for them, or, what they're doing. But I would just be like, let's get this out. Let's move this stuff, because you're getting donations all day, every day, and all day long. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, from 8 to 9, you're getting donations. It's all day long. There are people dropping stuff off in lines to drop stuff off. We are there often dropping stuff off. So it's like, I don't know. I think they'd sell more. It would sell faster. But the prices, I got hit with them last night, and I was, wow. I just couldn't believe it. I did walk out of there with an old wood box and, this ice tray thing. Those were the two things that I walked out of there with last night, because the other things I think there were like 8 items. I was so excited. I saw them and I was so excited about it. And then the price, it was like, nope. So I guess the moral of the story is always, I've said this before, many places, always have a budget when you walk into a thrift store. It is just like any other store. You need to have a budget. have a list, have all of that in mind when you go there to shop, and even more so now. So, those 8 items or whatever that I saw last night, I could have picked them up. They would have been great, projects and stuff to do for my website and all of that. But, at the end of the day, it just wasn't worth it at all for me. So just make sure you stick to your budget. Prices are going up. And maybe ours waited, to be completely honest, now that I'm talking about it, maybe ours waited till the new year. Like, it's 2023, we're coming out with a bang. We're going to start with, lower prices and who knows, maybe it'll change after a while. They'll see that things are still sitting on the shelves but people will come in and buy those things too at that price. So anyway, I would love to hear from you, from those of you that have sent me voice messages. Email me, lindsay@mycreativedays.com. Tell me what your thrift store prices are like, because I had sticker shock last night for the first time. Like real shock. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, for this, they want this for this? What is even happening? So I would love to hear from you what you think of the prices. If you're still able to find good things at reasonable prices, I want to know. Tell me what state you live in, because then if it hasn't been affected, I'm heading your way. I'll bring a U-Haul and I'll go thrifting where you are. So, okay, until I talk to you next time, have a great day. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.